She was new teaching the course and it was messy. I think that student meant she was new to teaching the course and it was messy.
Hello, I am Professor Daly. I am an assistant professor in the English and Comparative Literature Department at San Diego State University. I am also the director of the Children's Literature Program, as well as the director of the National Center for the Study of Children's Literature. I teach undergraduate courses that center children's literature from picture books all the way to young adult novels. And today I am reading my reviews on ratemyprofessor.com. On ratemyprofessor.com, my courses currently score a 3.3 out of 5 on overall quality. Wait, what's a 3.3 out of 5? That's a B+. I'll take it. 60% of my reviewers would take my course again. That's a majority, so I will take that as well. And my courses are listed at a 3.8 out of 5 level of difficulty, which I think is pretty appropriate for an upper division undergraduate course. Now, let's get into the reviews, shall we? She was new teaching the course and it was messy.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I think that student meant she was new to teaching the course and it was messy. I loved what was covered, but if you miss class, it really hurts your grade. Reading is mandatory.
Get your novels
Before class starts. Follow her instructions with the weekly assignments and weekly articles, or you get deducted points, also hurting your grade. I fully agree that the first time I taught this course, it was messy. When I was developing the syllabus, I thought about all of the wonderful middle grade and YA novels we were going to be reading, as well as all of the research articles that we would be able to discuss in class. However, we were coming out of the pandemic, and so the first 2 weeks of classes were held online, and by the time we actually got into the classroom, everyone was disoriented. So I ended up having to rework some of the assignments halfway through the semester. And even though that proved to be messy, it actually ended up benefiting the students more in the end. And thankfully, I'm glad it all worked out because we were coming out of a global pandemic. I also agree that students should follow my instructions on the weekly assignments and do the readings and yes, get their books before class starts. Also, my instructions are not there to harm or punish my students. They're actually there to help them with the assignments. So yes, if students do not follow the homework assignment instructions, then points are deducted because that means that they did not follow the homework's rubric. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure how else that would work.
Why would I not deduct points for students doing their assignment incorrectly?
But the student did get an A, even though they scored the course with a low 1 point. But knowing that they followed my instructions and that they completed the course objectives well, honestly, for me, a win is a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
I don't care what y'all say, a win is a win.
Daly cares about the material and her students, and if you put in effort, you will likely succeed. I felt that she was looking for specific predetermined answers rather than any interpretations to open-ended questions and assignments, so read instructions carefully. The reading is not difficult, but there is a lot. I have actually seen students who put in a lot of effort and still not succeed in my course because they are putting their effort in doing the assignments incorrectly. I do not design my courses based on effort. I design my courses based on skill set. So if students come into my courses with reading comprehension skills, writing skills, critical thinking skills, discourse analysis skills, then yes, they will fare better than students who have not yet developed those skills. And because my course is designed to develop and hone those skills, students who have not developed those skills yet or are learning them for the first time in my classroom, yes, it will impact their grade, but there is so much growth in those skill sets over the course of the semester that I wish that they would pay more attention to their growth rather than just simply the output of their final grade. Fall 2021 was Dr. Daly's first year at SDSU, and being in person from online, she was learning the ropes like us. She is so passionate in what she teaches and helps create a classroom community throughout the semester. She is available for questions and help, but know for a 500 level course, there's expectations for you to take initiative on that. Thank you, reviewer. I really appreciate this. I do want my students to thrive, and I don't want to diminish their education by pandering to their insecurities and making my class an easy A. Since I am teaching upper division courses, I do expect my students to be able to read a research article a week along with chapters from one of the novels that we are exploring. So students can expect between 2 hours and 2.5 hours of homework every week. And essentially what that breaks down to is about 90 minutes worth of reading and about an hour worth of writing. She doesn't seem to care about students putting effort in the assignments given. Extra credit doesn't help at all. Never had a professor who was that picky. Everyone writes things differently, but gets the point across. She wants specific words, which is dumb. What? 2 presentations that honestly take up the class time by every student and doesn't teach.
Bruh.
Honestly, this review confuses me the most because when it comes to reading comprehension, if I ask you to explain the plot, or if I ask you to provide evidence, or if I ask you to distill the argument from one of the research articles we are reading, and you do everything else except that, then yes, you will have points deducted from your assignment. So I guess in that way, you can call me picky. But what I'm actually picky about is having students be able to demonstrate their reading and writing skills. So when that is done incorrectly, then yes, I am going to correct that student until they learn how to develop a more accurate answer. So when situations like this occur, that basically means that either the student didn't do the reading, they skimmed the reading, or if they did do the reading, they are now confronted with the fact that they have low reading comprehension skills. Personally, I did not develop strong writing and reading comprehension skills until I got to middle school, so I know how frustrating this can be. But I can't let their frustration prevent me from helping them develop these skills, especially at the undergraduate level. Plus, these skills are so important even outside of the classroom. I encourage all of my students to come to office hours, go to the writing center, also to develop study groups amongst their peers, or even hiring a tutor if they are able. However, I know that some students will not take these steps forward, and as a result, they become frustrated and feel rejected when I continue to deduct points from their homework assignments. Daly is extremely passionate and intelligent. She genuinely cared about hearing everyone's perspective in class and facilitated meaningful discussions. Only annoying bit is that she is a tough grader. But you just have to learn what she likes to see and then you'll do well. Only allowed to miss 4 classes without failing, not ideal in a pandemic.
Am I really a tough grader? Am I really a tough grader?
In my mind, a tough grader is a professor who has 2 exams for the entire semester, and if you fail one exam, you basically have failed the course. In my classes, I have many assignments. That way, if you don't do well on a few, you can still make up those points because there are a lot more assignments due throughout the semester. Again, however, if a student continues to do poorly on multiple assignments, then yes, the amalgamation of all of those points deducted will impact their grade, and they will probably do poorly over the course of the semester. In most of my undergraduate courses, the assignments are between 5 and 10 points. Learning what I like is an interesting way of putting follow my assignment instructions. Also, missing 4 classes is 2 weeks of coursework. So if you've missed 4 classes 2 weeks out of a 15-week semester, wait, what is that? That is 13% out of the whole semester. So I allow students to freely miss 13% of the whole semester. And no, I did not penalize students if they ended up testing positive for COVID over the course of the semester. And no, students did not fail my course if they missed more than 4 classes. That is just misinformation. They were simply marked down a step or an entire grade depending on how many more classes they were absent for over the course of the semester. And I had students miss nearly the entire semester of class and still expect to pass my course. So yes, I do expect from my students to be in class when they are well enough to be in class. What I am noticing from reading today's reviews is that my students and I actually have more in common than we think. While they are developing their skills as researchers and scholars, I am also developing my skills in terms of becoming an effective instructor. I respect the opinions of these reviewers, but the reality is that our public education system has a lot of gaps, and often those gaps are expected to be fulfilled by the teacher or class instructor. And so I am growing and learning more about how to effectively fill those gaps. But there are so many more students in the classroom and there's only one of me, so I do need students to either meet me all the way or halfway or a third of the way so that we can collectively fill those gaps together. And that, I think, is the best way for me to help them accomplish their educational and academic goals. So a big thank you to all of my students who are helping me to become a more effective instructor. Thank you to my reviewers who pointed out the ways in which I can grow into being a more effective instructor. And thank you to all watching, and I will see you in the next one.